Hi everyone, thanks so much for joining me. Today I'm filming my daughter's 7th grade homeschool video. I almost said 6th grade, it doesn't feel real. She's moving up there in middle school. So it seems like the older she gets, the less items I have. And that's just, I think, because we own so many books already that I just kind of buy less and less stuff as she gets older because we have a lot of stuff in our collection, and now that she's getting older, she's reading a lot of like adult books when it comes to fiction, things like that. So like I just feel like I bought like way less this year, and I kind of minimized her curriculum. And another reason I minimized her curriculum is because of our big life change, where now she has a baby brother. You know, he's almost 9 months old, and basically it was very hard for me to do one-on-one homeschooling with her as we did every year, because she was the only child. So that's what we did every year. And then so pretty much I had to keep minimizing things because she was overlooking a lot of stuff. And I kind of had to simplify a lot to like reading, writing, and arithmetic, and of course still other subjects. But I would consider our homeschool literature based, and that's kind of what we've been focusing on, especially this year, is a lot of books. And that's going to be part 2. I hope you guys are interested. I get a lot more views on the homeschool videos, you know, I get it, but we're huge readers. I don't have as much time to read, but she's really reading still a lot, and so I just wanted to make a separate video for that. So that will be part 2 of all the books, which are kind of like assigned reading I did for 7th grade. Yeah, so let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I did was buy her a Trapper Keeper. Instead of buying her separate things like a book log and a book planner, I decided to just go with a binder. We never really used a binder before. Okay, so the first thing I did was I just Googled free class schedule template, and I found this free template online, and I just went ahead and made a simple class schedule. And I just did like math in green, language arts in yellow, science and geography in pink, and art. I did pretty much all the alternative subjects, all the extra subjects in the different color, so that every day, like each day, she has a different subject. So math and language arts are on Monday, and then Tuesday is math, language arts, and science, and then Wednesday is math, language arts, and geography, and then Thursday is math, language arts, and history, including art history, and then Friday is math, a little bit of language arts, and then art. And then her extra activity is continuing. She takes a Minecraft class on outschool.com. And so she really loves that class, and that's what she's doing. She also does piano, not formally, but she does piano. We have her do a little bit every day. And then she also does typing. So I kind of include that. And, oh yeah, I wrote it here, typing on Fridays. So we just, I believe it's like typing.com we use now. Okay, so that's the class schedule. And then I went ahead and made a separate little monthly schedule. So I'm going to explain this to you guys when I get to each subject. And then her book log, I just literally bought a pack of this plain graphene paper with holes, like from Target. It also came with these folders. So this folder is going to be for science, if she needs to put anything, this area. And then this area will be for geography. So we have science and geography in here, basically, is what we're using Trapper Keeper for, alongside the scheduling and things like that. So, and then, like I said, the book log, I literally just wrote title, author, and date. And she can just add more pages if she runs out. I just put 2 in here for now. But that's kind of what we're doing, just simplifying things. And I'll talk about this when I get to the subjects. But first, let me go over subject by subject. So first of all, when we start homeschool every day, the first thing she does is math. And we didn't change anything for math, if you guys follow me. I've been following. And if you're new, we've been using Saxon for years. So this is a just quad ruled notebook I got from Target, Target. And then this, her dad and her, she printed some stuff out. Cut some stuff out from Saxon, and then it's just like times tables and little different notes that she made along the years. So she includes that. That's from like last year. And then basically it's just, we're using Saxon 8.7, and we use Saxon for the past few years. So this is a solutions manual. And then this is the test and worksheets, which it's really just a pre-practice that you do before each lesson. And yeah, it's pretty simple. I have her do half, when it's a long full page like this, like multiplication, which is pretty much just reviewing her skills. But when it's like something like a new concept, I'll have her do the whole page. But she knows that, and we go ahead and usually kind of mark it with a pencil or with a highlighter. And that's what she's been doing for the past couple years, and it's been working out. So this is just a little prep activity of reviewing your math. And then you go on to do, Saxon. And it goes ahead and starts lesson 1, arithmetic with whole numbers and money, variables and evaluation. We've been skipping the warm-up. We didn't do the first year we started Saxon, but lately we've been skipping the warm-up, and she has to read the whole new concept. And then she reads all that to herself. And then she does the lesson practice, which is what she just read. She has to do the entire lesson practice. And then I have her do every other problem for the mixed practice, because it would take a long time, because a lot of it's just reviewing. Like a lot of it's just like, division and multiplication and things that she's already kind of, I don't know if you want to call it mastered, because you always have more things to learn, but kind of a review. So I just have her do every other problem, and that's been working out. But then, all of this. So I'm not going to talk too much about it, other than to say it's been working for us. She's been doing really good in math. She really doesn't even like math. I'm the same way. Not a math person, and she doesn't really complain about it. So so that's the first thing she does every day, Monday through Friday. And next is language arts. So the first thing that we'll be doing for language arts is stories and poems for extremely intelligent children of all ages by Harold Bloom. So this is a read aloud, yet because my baby naps on and off and I have to feed him on and off throughout the day, she will pretty much be reading this by herself most of the time. And so if not all of the time, okay. So it goes by seasons, which I really like. So it has book 1 spring, book 2 summer, book 3 autumn, and book 4 winter. So I believe we'll probably start, I don't know, I'm going to let her choose, because we're technically starting homeschool in August. I don't know if it's going to be August 1st or September 1st, but we're going to be starting fall. So I'll probably have her start book 3 and then kind of go around. So basically, he just has a selection. And basically, Harold Bloom, from what I understand, my husband has some other books by him. He's like a literary critic. And so he also, that's kind of what he does for a living. So he picked all these books books, poems, things like that, excerpts. So he has Aesop in here. He has poetry, John Keats. He has Walt Whitman. He has Lewis Carroll, Oscar Wilde, Mark Twain. A lot of classic literature is basically what it is. He loves classic literature. So I wanted to introduce her to some things, Nathaniel Hawthorne, more classic literature, William Shakespeare, things like that. So, and I like how most of them are pretty short. And last year we finished Aesop's Fables, a big collection. So I'm really happy to do something I really, really like that's based on seasons. I thought that was really neat. So that's the first thing, which I can still call in a read aloud. And language arts is pretty thin this year. Okay. So this is the change. If you guys saw my 6th grade haul video, you would have seen my 6th grade, I apologize, 7th grade curriculum haul video. You would have seen that I purchased Fix It Grammar for grammar. We were using Growing with Grammar. I decided to change for different reasons. I talked about it in that video. And then I bought Fix It Grammar from Amazon. I ended up returning it because we didn't use it. It was still brand new and everything like that. And I picked Daily Grams, which is, I'm not sure, what's the name of the company? Let's see, Easy Grammar System. So I really like how on the back. So basically, what I didn't like about Fix It Grammar for us was that, first of all, I started in a way higher grade. So we didn't use Fix It Grammar from the beginning. And it wasn't really that I started from a higher grade. I think it was the format of it threw us off. Because I had her sit next to me, we went through it, and I was like, because basically Growing with Grammar was a daily lesson. it was organized by daily lessons. So you read a little bit in the manual and then you do a lesson. You read a little bit, then you do a lesson. Fix-It Grammar was technically you would read the weekly section. Like, so you would read it a little bit about the assignment in the beginning of the week. I'm not saying you can't go back, and you could go back and look at it and things like that and reread it, but I just didn't like the format of it. So daily gram. So this is a nice system. Easy Grammar, it starts with Easy Grammar. So we skipped Easy Grammar, which is grade 1 through up to higher grades, which it says grade 6, but then it says Easy Grammar Plus. So it could be 7th grade on up. Okay, so what I understood was that you don't necessarily need to do Easy Grammar with the daily grams. Now, daily gram starts at 3rd grade, and then it goes all the way up to 7th, and then it has Easy Grammar Ultimate Series 8th through 12th. Okay, so if I were to start over again, I would have tried this from the beginning with Easy Grammar, but since she's already gone to 7th grade and we've been doing grammar for years, I decided to just go ahead and start with doing a daily gram. This reminds me a lot of Growing with Grammar, except it's all in one workbook versus getting two separate books like we had. And then this one, I believe, is like the it's a teacher edition. It has the answers in the back. And basically, so in the beginning, I like how it tells you the content in sequence. It tells you what page numbers they do, different things. Like it has like days of the week, geographic places, months, periods of time, poetry, quotations. Okay, so then it has like where you have apostrophes, content in sequence for commas, I guess where all this is taught, periods, exclamation points, quotations, semicolons, adverbs, adjectives. So it has a review of the content and sequence of all the different skills. Okay, so that's quite a bit of stuff. And then keeps going. And then it has a little bit of an overview. And then it gets right to, oh yeah, it also says if you have more than one child, you could make copies of this for each student and things like that. Okay, so here's day 1, and it's literally, they're all just like one page, I believe. Yeah, that's what I liked. It's just one page of review. So here's day 1, and it has capitalization, so you correct the sentence. So it's still technically like, like repairing the sentence, but I just like how it's separated. We just like this. Capitalization, you correct what's not capitalized. Punctuation, you add the punctuation that's needed. Here you have parts of speech verbs, circle the correct form. And then you have parts of speech adverbs, adjectives, circle the correct word. And then you have sentence combining. So you combine the sentence. And then you just go to day 1 and you check it. And Growing with Grammar was similar. You had a daily exercise and then you checked it. And like I said, I think once we got used to doing something a certain way, I just liked how this was very similar to Growing with Grammar, and I could get it on Rainbow Resource, which I love. I like their store. So this is day 1, and it has the answers. So it's just very simple. And like, I don't think I could have started with this, but the fact that we had years of Growing with Grammar was fine. I probably would have tried starting Easy Grammar. I have no idea what that's like, but that's already, getting to, so yeah. And I also like that it goes up to grade 12. So if we like it, she may go to high school, I don't know yet, but at least we can do it up until 8th grade if we want to. The Ultimate Series, not sure exactly what that is. But yeah, so that's what we're trying this year. Okay, so then keeping language arts simple. Like I said, it's going to be very book heavy in part 2, you guys. This is 101 story starters for kids. So I really just wanted to focus on grammar, a little bit of creative writing, and reading. I decided not to do a formal writing program other than just doing creative writing. I just felt like we did Winning with Writing last year, and I wanted to do something a little bit more creative this year, a little bit more just open and go, I guess. 101 story starters for kids. I mean, it was open and go, but just more creative, not as much formal. Okay, so this book is separated by different genres: realistic fiction, humor, historical, mystery, fantasy, science fiction, horror. And yes, so it gives you these tiny little, one little sentence, and you just complete it. So let's see. Let's choose a mystery one. Let's see. Art supplies had quietly disappeared from Miss Johnson's classroom all year. The only things left were a few oil pastels and some faded construction paper. Enough was enough, Kaio decided. It was time to figure out who was behind the thefts. Okay, so you just, it's a very short way to just use your brain, do a quick little creative writing exercise, and I like that. I didn't want something long and drawn. Now, if I could have found a writing program that I liked, I would have chose one, but just from me perusing the internet, I don't know. I just couldn't find one that spoke to me this for 7th grade. So that's what we're doing, you guys. Language arts, and then the books. Okay, and then for the books, she does 35 minutes of timed reading after everything is complete. So I don't have her do the reading at the end of language arts. She moves on to the next subject, and then she does reading last every day, even on Fridays. Okay, so now, and then since the Harold Bloom book covers poetry, I felt like that was a good exposure for poetry. I like to do poetry. Okay, that's it for language arts, you guys, except for the reading. And so now moving on to science. So for science, our main book is this. She wanted to study the planets. And this is a very skinny little book that I was kind of worried when I first got it. But she said what she's going to do is use it as a guide. Okay, let me before I start, here's a table of contents with the plants. So I want to tell you guys, bringing back the Trapper Keeper. We organized monthly themes. So in August, I guess we are starting August 1st because the way I worded it, yeah. Okay, August, she is going to focus on Mercury. So the entire month, she's going to focus on one planet for science. And then, September's Venus, October's Earth, November's Mars, December's Jupiter, January, Saturn, February, Uranus, March, Neptune, and April, the dwarf planets. So because she's going to run out of information in this book to cover for an entire month, she's going to grab some other random books from our homeschool shelf, and she's going to use the internet to find information on, say, Venus. So she's going to read this and use that as a guide. And then she will find some other things. And then part of why we also got the Trapper Keeper is I want her to use the paper to write something on Venus. So she will draw and or write something about Venus. So every month I expect her to have kind of a creative little layout thing. And we'll see how that goes on each planet. And that's kind of the goal. Not a huge paper, not anything major, but just like some notes. And so that's our plan for science. One planet each month and the dwarf planets. Okay, so that's science, which is going to be done on Tuesdays after language arts. And then here we going into Wednesday, which the extra subject is geography. So geography this year, we're focused on all the continents each month. So this is a book I got. It's a National Geographic Concise Atlas of the World. And I like how it's broken down by the continents and the nice maps, of course, because it's an atlas. And then so you have some random information in the front. And then it is color coded, labeled. So similar to the science, each month she will have a different continent. So so August is North America, September South America, October Europe, November Asia, December Africa, January Australia and Oceania, February Antarctica. March I just put world so she could just study some world, different things about the world atlas. Let's look at them in the book because this book has other information, of course. And then April I put space because she's already doing space, with science, and it also has a section for space. So it has in the atlas space. So it has its own section, color-coded yellow, about the moon, solar system. So I thought this book would tie into science. It's kind of like geography and science that last month of April. Because we usually end May 1st. That's what we've been doing. We've been starting early and ending early for homeschool. I like how it has a lot of real photography. And we've done a lot of illustrated books in the past. And I still love those books. But I wanted her to do like more photography in 7th grade. Okay. So that is what she's doing on Wednesdays. And then now Thursday is history. So I got a big book for history. And then she has art history. So for history, we're going to continue using this timeline notebook. We used it for 6th grade. And she did modern history. So she's still going to be working on this into the summer, going into the 2000s, but she finished like in the 90s. I'm sorry, the 80s. And she didn't have enough time to finish as we finished everything else. But so we're kind of going back in history now. So, like I said, I'm going to have her finish this in the summer. I'm going to have her do it up until 2025 or 2000. I think she said the books she has go until 2003. So then I forgot the year. But I'm going to have her do it somewhat modern. But so she's going to be wrapping this up in the summer. But like I said, she finished here. And she really learned a lot doing it this way. So now we're going to go all the way back, to ancient history or prehistory. I'm not sure exactly where we're going to start. Guess where this book starts. So that's the main thing. This is from School Nest. So we really like that. And then this is the National Geographic Ultimate Visual History of the World, which I also like the photography, and that's why I picked National Geographic books this year. Really focus on National Geographic. So yeah, so it starts prehistory, 250,000, 100,000 BCE. So I'm going to have her start there. And yeah, so that's what we're doing for history. And I'm just going to have her stop wherever we end up towards the end of the year. I don't really have a specific part in history I want her to stop because I don't want her to rush. Because we probably will do this next year too, until we finish that timeline notebook. Okay, so that is history. And then after she does that, I'm going to have her match the time in history to this book, which we've been having for a while. This was just from our bookshelf. So on Thursdays, she does history and art history because we really haven't done a lot of art history. So it starts early art, 30,000 BCE. So I don't think I'm going to have her write this in the history timeline notebook because there isn't enough space. So unless there's something in here that's really remarkable that interests her, but otherwise I really just want her to connect them, like what's going on with art during this time, like what information do we have, like what sculptures and paintings, cave art, whatever it is, connects, if anything, to certain timelines in history. And that's kind of my goal of the book. And then eventually I'll have her go and so we're going to start at the beginning in early art and see what she can connect. So it's very short on each artist, and it's a good short little introduction. And this is an adult book. I believe that these are all adult books, so that's okay with me. If you're usually I get more books that are youth, but I couldn't find what I was looking for in that age group. So these are all technically adult books. So so I'm just putting that out there. But so Thursday history and art history. And then Friday, she does language arts, which is reading and typing. And then she does art. So I guess I can go ahead and close the chapter keeper because I told you guys mostly the schedule. And then for art, we have her sketchbook. Oh, I do need the trapper keeper. I apologize because we are doing themes this year. So science has a monthly theme. Geography has a monthly theme. Science, geography, and art have monthly themes. Okay, I apologize. Yeah, let me get that out. So basically, I'm having her reuse this because she didn't fill it up. It's just a hardback sketchbook that she used for drawing this year. And since we only got, she used other paper too. So this was only, we didn't want to waste it. And she likes to keep her personal art separate from the homeschool art. So we're going to continue where she stopped so we don't waste the paper. And this will be her like a little idea book. And then also got her this portfolio. It's a 9x12 portfolio book. Sorry, it's wrong way. Like this. Has little things on it. I apologize. Scratches. Okay, that's how it came. Okay. So this, I went ahead and put the paper. So I went ahead and put 9x12 watercolor and or mixed media paper. I had both left over. So I went ahead and put some of it, mostly that's water. I like watercolor paper from all mediums. And then I just went ahead and put it in there because I want her to do an artwork at the end of each month with the theme on this paper and then just use this for ideas. So when she has the idea of the project, she will sketch it in here and then she will do her final draft on here. And the reason why I did that was because mostly we use a lot of pads and sketchbooks, and she was bound by the composition of what was in the book versus taking out the paper, which is, I don't want to stain it, so I'm not going to take it out. But what she will do is she will take this paper out. That's why you could put 2 in here. You could put them back to back, but I only put 1 just for the sake of, ease for her. But I'm going to also finish it. I need to get another pad, actually, because I didn't really have enough, because this was just what was left over from 6th grade, but I'm going to buy some more 9x12 mixed media or watercolor paper. And so I'm going to also show you guys the one I got. I think it's Strathmore, but I want her to take out the paper and put it on the desk. And then either she will use masking tape or she will just put it there. But I want her to take in consideration the entire composition and make it like more of a formalized artwork each month versus just do it in a sketchbook where, she'll write the date and she'll do like a sketch and it'll be kind of bound by the composition. Like you kind of don't have the edges, right? Some are perforated and you can tear them out, but she never really does that. And sometimes I would make her, but this is just kind of like we could have put this in a pad, but I wanted it to be, tore them off of a pad or a block, but I wanted it to be more formal. I wanted her to really see and like be proud of what she does each month, because I wanted her to she can do more than one a month too, but basically each month I want her to experiment with a different material. And we're kind of going back to basics, you guys, because we've used so much like artist grade products and just like different products over the years. Like I've tried to buy all these different things, so I really wanted to simplify things. So I just got some simple. Okay, so basically each month will be a theme of her exploring a different medium, but starting at the basics. I didn't want it to be about the materials. I wanted it to be about the process, kind of going back to process of her product art. We haven't used crayons in years. She never uses crayons in her personal life. She never uses crayons in homeschool. It's more like colored pencils or markers or watercolor pencils, but I wanted to not care about the quality of the material. Not that this is like school grade quality, right? This is like child grade quality, and I wanted to simplify things just to see what she will do in the creative process versus it being about something more high end or I just wanted to be kind of whimsical with it. So August, she will create some artworks with crayons. So I just literally bought a 24 pack of crayons. And like I told you guys, the composition in the mixed media paper, she will do it with that. Now she can have her own themes. I don't care if she draws a tree, self-portrait. I don't care if she just does doodles, like whatever she wants to just to express herself with crayons and just go back to the basics, right? So crayons, artwork with crayons. We're not using a book. We're not using a curriculum. I've used so many art curriculums in the past years, and I just want to like free her up to just focus on doing art like with the materials. Okay, second, September will be color pencils. I just bought Crayola color pencils. And then October is markers. And so I bought a pack of Crayola markers that you get at the grocery store. And then, November is tempera. So that is the one thing I need to get. I don't have in front of me. I need to order, so I'm probably do it from like Target. So it's just like water based, like really like what you would use with like preschoolers, like just tempera, like tempera paint. Okay, and in December, she will be focusing on projects with air dry clay. So this is Crayola air dry clay. This is honestly my favorite air dry clay. Yeah, it works really well. And I usually buy her this for her personal art, and so I want her to just do stuff with air dry clay for the whole month of December. And it just gives her a dedicated time to explore these mediums, which are very basic, and I like that. Just being creative, right? It's not about the actual products, just like about you. Like you can have crayons in a gallery. Like it doesn't mean that everything has to be acid free and perfect, and we're not doing a gallery, but I'm just saying. There's so many artists using so many different things, so I'm not saying that. Okay, so January is watercolor. Now, we are just using watercolor that we already had. So we already had this. It's just it's Sakura Koi. I'm not sure. Yeah, like I bought this years ago. And so it's just a simple, basic colored watercolor palette. And watercolor lasts forever. So that's what she's using because we already had it. And then February is Sharpies. So I got like a fat Sharpie. What is this? King size. And then I got like a fine point. I didn't want her to use really small Sharpies because like ultra fine point is similar to using a pen. So I really wanted her to use the bigger ones. And these will probably bleed. So that's why I'm going to have her take the paper out and probably put something down, like cardboard or some type of surface on the desk. And same thing with the markers. And I don't care if it bleeds. Like to me, it's just going to be fun. And so she's going to be doing Sharpies, art with Sharpies the whole month of February. And then March, I have a more specific assignment, and then April. So March, she can use whatever material she wants, but she will be doing a family portrait. That's going to be the goal of March. I really want her to do that. She can do it different, like however she wants, with crayons, color pencils, markers. She can even do it with clay if she wants to. So then April, I want her to do a self-portrait. And I have her do a self-portrait every year, at the end of every year, and usually at the beginning of every year, usually with pencil or whatever medium she wants. So yeah, so those are our monthly themes of the different mediums and of so that was that. Is that everything? Am I wrapping up everything? I don't know. Let me see. I think that might be it, you guys. So that's it so far. If I'm forgetting something, I mentioned typing.com. I think it's free. But the one we're using, I don't know if you can pay or not, but we're using a free version. She does that. She's gonna be doing that. She already started it a little bit. And just to, get her refreshed and get her, exposed to like a little bit like typing and stuff like that. And like I said, she's taking Minecraft, and then she does piano. And the books are going to be in part 2. And that's a lot of classics and a lot of literature from our own bookshelves that her dad and I read. And yeah, so I think that's it. If I'm forgetting something, then I apologize. But I'm wishing you guys a really awesome summer and upcoming homeschool year, and I hope you guys stick around for my videos. And thanks so much for being here. Take care. Bye.